Hey guys, George here from Pack Instinct. Hope you're all doing really well this Sunday. Hope you're not too hot. It's baking hot here again, but it's going to be okay this week. Apparently it's going to be a little bit cooler than it has been this weekend, because this weekend it's been a little bit much. I'm not really a big fan of the heat since I have dogs. I like to go out with my dogs and enjoy it when it's just kind of nice temperature, not absolutely scorching hot, and I'm not the kind of person to be sitting around the pool and stuff, so it's pretty much just a lot of sitting in for me when it's too hot with the dogs, and playing guitar and making YouTube videos for you guys. So I thought today for this Sunday's little video we could just have a little bit of a talk and go through some pictures and go through a little bit of what am I trying to say? Let's have a bit of a story time. I thought I could just kind of give you guys an insight into kind of where I've come from over the years, and where I've been, and who I've learned from, and where I've kind of learnt my stuff from. I just thought people that maybe are looking to hire me or something like that, they might like to know where I've learnt my stuff, and you know, kind of the history, kind of the story behind it. So I've got a few pictures here, guys, on the computer, which I'm gonna talk over and, you know, show you guys the pictures, and we'll have a little bit of a chat, okay? So in this first picture, I mean, that's me, dreadlocks. We're talking 2014 now. This is about a year before going to Cesar Millan's dog psychology center, and I was working at the shelter. Now I'll just press pause here. I actually got a dog before this, my first dog, Spike, and I got him from Portugal. This is way before I was even thinking about becoming a dog trainer. I was a surf instructor first, and I picked up my dog Spike, brought him back, and I started to learn stuff online, like how to teach basic commands, and then even more fun stuff like trick stuff and that. I actually found out about Victoria Stillwell, who I don't follow, and I don't really like her work now, but right in the beginning with a young puppy, Spike, who's laying down on the floor down here. He must be about, I don't know how old he is, but young puppy, you know, that's a good way to start just learning your marker training and, you know, tricks, some simple tricks and stuff like this, guys. So that's where I started, and then I got turned on to Cesar Millan, and this was about the time that I was working in the shelter and just learning things at the shelter, and I learned a lot of lessons at the shelter, like big time, you know, spatial pressure, how to get dogs to respect my space, how to, you know, keep it safe so that you weren't losing dogs by having dogs shoot out of doors and stuff. I learned a lot at the shelter working with those dogs, and, you know, the shelter where I was working at, there was big groups of dogs all together, up to 16 dogs, you know. So a regular pen would have 9 dogs, 12 dogs, whatever like that. And so that was it was good for me in that way, because it was a great learning environment. And this is what we're looking at now. This is a dog who I actually remember his name. His name was Angel, and I was considering taking this dog. He had a few problems, leash mania and stuff like this. But anyway, yeah, so I mean, working at the shelter gave me a really good insight into dogs, and working around, you know, lots of dogs. Even though you're cleaning up poo, pee, you're feeding the dogs, you're giving medication, you're doing all of that kind of stuff, all that fun stuff. Like you can see, I'm wearing wellies, and, you know, I'm not wearing good clothes, obviously. But that's what you do at the shelter. You know, you just go there and you work, and you do it, and you learn. And I did learn a lot. Now, in this next picture, which is coming up now, this is maybe about a year later. This is me at Cesar Millan's Dog Psychology Center in California. And so this was really amazing stuff, guys. Really, to be honest with you, this was the best thing that I ever did in my life, because I learned so much from this guy. I learned a lot from this guy way before going here, and I learned a lot when I was there, and I'm still learning a lot from Cesar. I have a massive amount of respect for Cesar Millan and what he teaches. So if you guys don't know Cesar Millan, I suggest you get to know Cesar Millan, and, you know, check out his books and check out his TV shows and stuff like that. Just pressing pause there, I remember back in the day it was really easy to watch episodes of Dog Whisperer and stuff What? Okay, Dog Whisperer. It was all on YouTube. It's kind of a bit more difficult now, I found, but if you can get your hands on some old DVDs and some books of his, then I would really recommend it, guys, because he has a really fantastic insight into dogs. So definitely somebody worth checking out. So yeah, this is, at the Dog Psychology Center, and I spent about 5 days there at the Dog Psychology Center. And they were like pretty long days, guys, from like 7 o'clock in the morning till about 5 or 7 at night, like really long days. And Cesar's there with you like the whole time, working with you, going through, all the topics. It was really a fantastic thing, And so, yeah, that's me and Cesar and Junior, who's an amazing dog of his. Yeah, I'll just move it on a little bit here because that's a great photo, but we'll just move it on. So yeah, this is the kind of thing that, I was doing there. I was like learning how to walk packs of dogs. I was learning how to take dogs that weren't balanced and get them into a balanced state. I was learning how to take dogs that were dog reactive and get them around dogs, and how to project a certain energy to where that becomes easy, it becomes effortless, and it becomes safe because you're in the moment with the dogs. You can feel everything that's going on. I could feel everything that these dogs were doing at the end of the leash. And that's what Cesar really got me to be very sensitive about, what's going on with me, what's going on up here, what's going on physically, what's going on with the dog, how to read all of that, and how to like slow it all down so that you can have success with that. It really comes down to you being in the right state of mind before you attempt to do any of this stuff, right? And Cesar Millan really understands that, and that's why you'll always see those disclaimers at the beginning of the show that say, don't attempt this, because there really is a hell of a lot that goes into what Cesar Millan does. So that's to bear in mind. But this is the kind of thing that I was doing for those 5 days, and it was fantastic. I saw people that really thought they wouldn't be able to do this kind of a thing, and within a few days, they were all doing it. And it was just because Cesar was able to get everybody's energy up into that area and give you the knowledge and the tools to be able to feel comfortable and then be successful with what you were doing. So, few days of this, pack walks and learning about energy and seeing Cesar work with dogs and lots of classroom work, and watching Cesar work with packs of dogs, and watching Cesar here with dogs and other animals, and like you saw in that first picture with me and the llama, that was learning about spatial pressure and energy, and that was a fantastic thing to do. So yeah, I'll just move on a little bit here. Yeah, so this is like in the classroom kind of thing. This is how you're learning. This is how I was learning, from a textbook, writing things down and just trying to take in all the information that I could take in to be able to bring it back here and then use that with my clients, help people out with their dogs that they were struggling with. Yeah. So here we go, some more pack walks taking place, different dogs, smaller dogs, different size dogs. You've got to have the right energy for every dog that you're working with. If you've got a bunch of big dogs, if you've got big dogs and small dogs, if you've got dogs that can be potentially reactive if they get too close to other dogs. So this is the thing, guys, and we were here on this trail, I was working with, like, you can see this guy ahead of me. This is a guy called Todd Langston, an amazing trainer of dogs and humans, more importantly humans, right? But we were here and we all had the opportunity to practice. Like, we were all in the same boat. There was no like embarrassment because somebody wasn't doing it right, or like somebody was struggling, or if somebody was struggling, like everybody was there to help everybody else. It was a really amazing environment, which counts for a lot when you're working with dogs, having that support. It was an amazing place for support. And just to say on that, and this will be kind of, you'll notice this is kind of the theme. When you go to a seminar or when you go to, do a course, yes, you're learning from the person that you're learning from, but you're also meeting a lot of other like-minded people, and you're going to learn a hell of a lot from those other people, and you never expected that when you signed up for the course. You expected to go there and learn from Cesar Millan, but you don't expect to meet so many amazing people and to be able to learn so much from those amazing people. Just watching the battery there. I might have to swap the battery over in a second, guys. So yeah, just carrying on here. Exercise, discipline, affection is a big part of Cesar's approach. So exercising dogs first. A calm dog is going to be a well-behaved dog. A calm dog is going to be a dog that can take in information a lot better. An exercise dog will give you a calm dog, physically tired, and also mentally. Working with a dog mentally will tire them out as well. So exercise, and then applying discipline where necessary, and then affection at the right time. Now this was a rainy day. I remember this day. This was fantastic. So I was given all these dogs, including Junior there, Benson, who's the little Pomeranian there, and Taco, who's the Yorkshire Terrier there. And then you can see this dog here, the Labrador. This is Holly. This dog is the one that is in that famous video of Cesar Millan's, where it's like Cesar gets bit, and right. So pretty much Cesar ended up taking in this dog and working with this dog, and like Cesar has an amazing relationship with this dog now that nobody knows about. I think it's weird that nobody knows about it, because this video of him getting bitten by this dog is such a big, well-known video used by so many people that don't like Cesar and everything else. And it's like, look at that dog right now. I've seen that dog. Like, there are videos of that dog with Cesar, playing with him and having the best time and absolutely fine around food now, because it was food aggression. And here she is, like, just with these other dogs, just absolutely calm as anything. A really, really good teacher, actually, for other people and other dogs, So I think that's amazing. Holly was a really cool dog. And I remember when I took the leash, I was like, that's Holly, that famous dog that, it was pretty cool to take Junior and Benson and Taco, because they're pretty famous as well. But Holly is like, ooh, this dog that bit Cesar, I mean? She's absolutely cool as anything, He really turned her around, and now she lives there at the psychology center, and she teaches people, and she works with people and other dogs. I'm going to press pause there, guys. I'm going to change the battery over. Okay, and we're all good because I've put in a new battery. So, getting on with this. So, yeah, it was just amazing, guys. I can't say, like, it was just fantastic. It was an amazing experience. If anybody, like, is thinking about it, or, wants to do it, or, you're thinking about it, and you get the opportunity to do it, then just do it. Just go for it. Just get out there and just take in as much information as you possibly can, and just have a really fantastic time with it. So yeah, we'll just carry on here. You're going to get a better picture here now. Yeah, so that's Holly there, closest to me on my right side, left side of the photo, but on my right side. And there's obviously Taco and Benson on the left there. And I don't remember the names of these other dogs on the left, but I remember this was a day where Cesar really wanted everybody to practice with this specific group of dogs, for whatever reason that was. But everybody got a turn at walking this pack of dogs, and it was really cool. You can't see Junior in this photo. You can just see his back foot at the back there, the white pads. But yeah, Junior just followed me like a champ. He was absolutely fantastic. It was pretty cool walking with Junior, because I do love Junior. I've always loved Junior. I think everybody who likes Cesar Millan loves Junior, right? Okay, so this next photo is not a photo that I took, but this is also at the Dog Psychology Center, and down there at the tent, that's the tent that you saw us sitting in. I just wanted to put this photo here just to show you guys what it's like there. This is really the vibe. This is really kind of a very important part of what Cesar's teaching people. It's, I'm going to press pause there. Just leave it there on that picture for a second. But calming your mind, living in the moment, projecting the right energy, guiding your dogs. I don't know what the pure positive community have against all of those things, you know? It's just a fantastic way to live. And it makes perfect sense why dogs would be attracted to people that live this way. And I just wanted to put that picture in there just to say, like, you know, this is kind of what you've got to think. Like, you got to think, okay, so, you know, a big part of this is what I'm thinking is affecting what I'm doing. And for me, you know, and for other people that work with dogs, you're not going to get away with not knowing that a lot of the time. If you don't know that, you could end up in a world of trouble, because you've got to understand that what you think shows up to dogs through your body language. I'm going to keep saying this, guys, until you really get it. But yeah, I like to repeat that really quite a lot, because the more I say it, the more you'll kind of understand it. So, you know, just an amazing photo, but just that whole vibe of just like, look, the Buddha's there, like, it's a nice, calm atmosphere, you know, that's what dogs need a lot of the time, not hectic, chaotic people with their lives, you know, Benoost's life or whatever, you know. It's the opposite of this. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going for hippie points here, guys. I'm just trying to show you, like, dogs really pick up on what you're feeling and what you're thinking, okay? This is just a picture of me when I still had dreads, but I'm now with Bob, who was my dad's dog, and that is in the Isle of Man. And again, just a nice, calm picture here. Me and him, he is passed now, unfortunately, but calmness is a big thing, guys. Being calm, clearing your mind, you know, breathing. If meditating, if breathing a certain way helps you to do that, then, you know, that's fantastic. But I find just being with my dogs and just being around dogs and working with dogs and people, I try to get there, you know. And to be honest with you, I've been struggling with that recently. It's been pretty tough recently. I've had stuff going on in my head, and, you know, with all the stuff that's been going on in the world and everything, it hasn't helped. So I'm really going to try to get back here, and hopefully you guys can get something from that as well, because it's just a fantastic way to live and the way to think. And, you know, life's too short, you know, to not be calm in yourself. So here you go. After Cesar Millan's, I came back here. I started training dogs. I was, you know, working with people, working with dogs, working with some dogs that were too difficult for my skill set at that time. I remember coming to this school, and I was, you know, it was a client of mine actually, and she was a teacher, and she asked me to come in and do this. And I'm just here with Spike, my dog, my first dog. And these kids were actually excellent, and I just went over some fundamental things, like the stuff that we're talking about right now. I was able to share there at that school with those kids, you know, and I just think that's pretty cool. And like, all the kids were really, like, respectful, and they took what I was saying, and they really enjoyed it, you know. And they even got to, like, stroke Spike at the end, which I'm not saying that kids should, you know, be allowed to touch dogs all the time, but these kids were really polite about it. And I did take Spike intentionally, because I knew he's just super cool about anybody, and if anybody likes to touch him, he's down for that. He loves to be stroked, you know. So yeah, that was a cool little thing to do. Hopefully some of those kids, like, took some of those lessons back home and were, like, training their dogs in front of their parents, which would be pretty cool. So this is Brian Agnew. Now, this was the second seminar that I went to. This was a amazing seminar. Now, Brian has a very unique style, I would say. Brian and Sherry, his partner, Lucas Agnew workshops, that's their thing, you know, and he has a really good approach to working with dogs that is a little bit on the calmer side. Again, like what Cesar, you know, kind of thing. It's his own approach. It's very Cesar Millan based, but then there's a lot more practical work that goes into it as well, I would say, in different ways than Cesar. Different ways of looking at prey drive, pack drive, and that's what he really taught me about prey drive and pack drive, and how to use a long line, like the art of using a long line, which was absolutely, like, amazing, guys. When I saw him do that, I literally was just like, my mind was blown watching this guy work with a dog, and work with a lot of dogs actually, and work with one dog that was actually really, really difficult. Like it was a very difficult dog to work with. Pretty dangerous. Not that he put himself in danger, but that dog, like anybody who took the leash of that dog, was in danger pretty much. But this guy had skill, and the skill I saw, and it was just like an art form, and it was like watching somebody perform like a musician or something. And I saw what he was doing with his body language, and I saw the way he was inviting dogs in, and I saw the way he was backing dogs up, and I saw the way he was using his body language to do that, and the way he was getting into the dog's brain and changing the way they were thinking about certain situations, guys. It was absolutely fantastic for me to see, and I was pretty blown away. I like walked away from that, and I was like, for a few days after, I was like, whoa, I've just experienced something pretty cool right there. Something that you've seen something really, really good. You've seen something done very, very well. And so I learned a lot from that, guys, and I was able to take that stuff and bring it back again and use that myself to help dogs and to help people, which was the main point of going to these seminars and stuff. So I think here we've just got a picture of, like, this was like the time when I was walking dogs, because I was walking dogs and training dogs, and it got to the point where it was just too much, guys. I couldn't walk dogs in the morning like I was taking out, like, there's 5 dogs there, but I was taking like 7 dogs out and stuff, and I've got loads of videos of that, and I love doing that, but it just became too much with the classes that I had to do that and to do my classes as well, and it just didn't work out really. So I stopped doing the dog walking really, and I just focused my attention on doing private classes, working with people and their dogs, and then eventually group classes. Pretty soon after that I started to do my group classes. Here's just another picture of me with a dog who is a Rottweiler. I remember these dogs there was 2 Rotties, and they were in the house fighting, and we had to restructure everything and just get them back on track, and we did that. I think they were able to carry on living together. That's one of the most difficult things that a trainer will work with, are 2 dogs that are fighting, let alone Rottweilers that are just massive, like absolutely huge Rottweilers. So you do what you can do in that situation. You can make it as good as you can, you can make it as safe as you can, and you can make it so that if the owner keeps doing the good work, they might turn it all around to the point where the dogs will eventually like get along. Okay, that can happen, and it can happen much easier than sometimes than someone might think, including myself. But at the same time, like you can see, guys, sometimes situations just aren't realistic. So if you know somebody whose dogs are fighting at home, that's a really bad situation. They need to get a professional in to help, or to maybe even say that the dogs need to be separated in that situation because of the circumstances, because it looks just too dangerous for the owner and for the dogs as well. It looks like one of the dogs could really get hurt. So that, just throwing that in there just so you know, guys, that's one of the most difficult things that a trainer will work with. So this is okay. So 3rd seminar, I went to the Sean O'Shea and Jeff Gellman seminar. Now Sean O'Shea and Jeff Gellman, they're huge online. Lots of people know them. Lots of people like them. Lots of people don't like them. I was able to go to the seminar with an open mind and learn from them a different way of training, pretty much, to what I had already learned from Cesar and from Brian. If you think about Brian's training as an extension of Cesar's, where you're just getting more of it, not so much that, lots of more theory, but also a lot more practical. But it's definitely, for me, an extension of what I learned from Cesar's. What I learned at Cesar's, and I think Brian would agree with that, because I think Brian had a part in writing the program at Cesar's. What he teaches is then like a bit of an extension on that. You learn lots of practical stuff. You learn how to switch drives. You learn about drives. You learn lots of cool stuff at that seminar that you didn't learn at Cesar's. And Cesar's is like kind of the foundation for learning that stuff. This is kind of completely different, guys. Now, here's the thing. I learned some stuff from them, you know. I learned quite a lot. But I really learned a lot from some of the other people that were at the seminar, okay? And that's the thing. I really, really learned a lot from Roddy Kirk, who has... I would say Roddy Kirk has the best dogs that I've ever seen. I've never seen dogs as well behaved as Roddy's dogs are. That's trainers, clients. I've never seen dogs that good, that were not that good to start off with. Like, really came from a very, very bad place in life to being absolutely amazing, helping dogs, helping people and stuff. So Roddy, I learned a lot from Roddy, you know. That's one of those things, guys, like I was saying before. When you do go to seminars and stuff, yes, you're going to learn from those people, but you're also going to learn from a bunch of people that you never knew about, and you're going to meet there, and you're going to meet amazing people, and you're going to learn amazing stuff from those people. That is just as important. I promise you, it's just as important as what you learn from the people who are actually like hosting the event, you know, teaching. So yeah, so I mean, now I've just got a few pictures more of like me out with some dogs. Millie, that was actually the first dog that I ever worked with, trained. She turned out amazing. I've got lots of videos of Millie. To be honest with you, she kind of was going that way. It wasn't really much me. It was just like she was just an amazing dog, and I was able to help the owners out with a couple of issues. And there she is again with my two. I mean, that's like early day stuff. It's not so early because I don't have dreads, but yeah. So anyway, guys, yeah. So I just wanted to make that video, share those pictures with you guys, and kind of give you a bit of an idea of where I've kind of come from and what I've done and who I've learned from and the things that I've taken away from those experiences. Because yeah, no, I thought it was like well overdue me doing that. So we might do this again in the future at some point if I've got more stories and things to tell you guys. But there's a few stories there for you, and yeah, we'll leave it there at that. Alright guys, hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a good one.